So, what if I told you there's a figure of speech you probably use a million times a day without even realizing it? Seriously, it's kind of the secret sauce that makes our stories funnier, our feelings feel bigger, and our points totally unforgettable. Today, let's dive into the art of epic exaggeration, hyperbole. I mean, just look at this. I will literally die if you don't stop using hyperboles incorrectly. Oh, we have all been there, right? This image just perfectly captures that over-the-top dramatic feeling that's really the heart and soul of what we're talking about today. And that actually brings us perfectly to our first section, literally dying for emphasis. We use these massive exaggerations all the time, not because we're trying to deceive anyone, but just to add a little color and, really make a point in our everyday lives. Think about it. You run into a friend you haven't seen in, a week? And what do you say? Oh my gosh, it's been forever. Or ages have passed since I last saw you. And of course, you both know it hasn't literally been ages. But you say it to emphasize a real feeling, that you've really missed them. See? You're already a master of this technique. Okay, so we've got a feel for this thing, right? We're using it all the time, but what is it officially? Let's put a proper name to this powerful little tool we're all using. Well, the official term is hyperbole. It's a figure of speech that uses deliberate exaggeration. But the part I find absolutely fascinating is its origin. It comes from the Greek word for overshoot. And that's exactly what hyperbole does. It overshoots the literal truth to make a point with way more impact. Sometimes the best way to understand something is to look at its complete opposite. So hyperbole is all about overstatement, right? Like you see on the left, I've told you a million times. But the flip side of that is understatement. That's when you look at some major damage and go, it's just a scratch. They both create emphasis, just from totally opposite ends of the spectrum. All right, so we've seen it in our everyday chats, but now let's see how the real masters, poets and authors, use this tool out in the wild to create some truly incredible imagery and emotion. Okay, check out this famous poem by W.H. Auden. He's not just saying, hey, I'll love you for a long time. No. He's making these beautiful, impossible promises. Till China and Africa meet, and the river jumps over the mountain. He's using hyperbole to express a love that's so huge it just can't be contained by normal, boring reality. And he just keeps going. Can you picture it? Salmon singing in the street, the entire ocean folded up and flung out to dry. It's brilliant. By describing things that can never, ever happen, Auden gets across this feeling of a love that will never, ever end. It's breathtaking. And this isn't just for love either. It can convey this profound sadness. Here in Pinocchio, the character's sobs aren't just loud, they're so loud they can be heard by faraway hills. This unreal exaggeration helps us feel the completely overwhelming, all-consuming nature of his grief in a way that just saying he was very sad never, ever could. Oh, here's a favorite of mine, from Joseph Conrad's Heart of Darkness. It's so simple, but so powerful. The character waits for 10 days. But how does Conrad make us feel the crushing weight of that wait? He calls it an eternity. Boom. In just one word, he communicates this purely personal internal experience of time dragging on. So let's just break that down. Look at it side by side. The real situation, 10 days of waiting. The hyperbolic feeling, an absolute eternity. It's that massive gap between those two things that just pulls you right into the character's head. It's such an efficient, amazing piece of writing. Okay, so we've seen what it is and how it's used, but now let's get to the real heart of it, the power of overshooting. Why do we do this? What's the real function of overshooting the truth so dramatically? Well, it really boils down to a few key things. Sometimes, it's just to be funny. Other times, like we saw with Auden and Pinocchio, it's to express a really intense, serious emotion. It can also be used to create a really striking contrast. But if you look closer, they all have one thing in common. They are designed to grab your attention and make you feel something. And this cartoon is just a fantastic visual for that comic effect. The phrase, "it's a jungle out there," we've all said it, right? It's a classic hyperbole for any chaotic or difficult situation. The image just takes that literally, and it creates this really funny, ironic punchline. This is hyperbole doing what it does best, making a point in a super clever and memorable way. All right, we've covered a lot of ground here, from our daily conversations all the way to classic literature. But if there's just one thing you remember from all this, what should it be? Let's get to your final takeaway.
Here it is, the crucial point. A hyperbole is an unreal exaggeration used to emphasize a real situation. That's it. It's not about lying, it's about using the impossible to shine a huge spotlight on something that's very real. Whether that reality is love or sadness, or just how incredibly hungry you are, hyperbole is the tool that gives that feeling the epic scale it feels like it deserves.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Now that you're tuned into this language of exaggeration, I promise you're going to start hearing it absolutely everywhere. So I'm curious, what's the best hyperbole you've heard all week?